Beautiful day, Patriots. How are you? There is no light in this video. It's being shot in the dark. It's being shot in the dark. Let's see. We've got a new Twitter boss, correct? And the Q community is saying, yay, track the resignations. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. And we just did a decode on my last video talking about the new boss, and his name was Law Argument, right? That's his last name, right? And we can see that he has, within the first 24 hours, because everybody was saying, yay, we got a new boss, right? And within the first 24 hours, Twitter has applied a new rule. You are no longer allowed to video record somebody and put it on Twitter without their consent. That means you are no longer allowed to just videotape, like, say, a crowd or, say, a sunset on the beach, and if somebody walks by, you're not allowed to post on Twitter because there's somebody in there without their consent. Therefore, it is impossible to show video evidence of any crime on Twitter, because the criminal just has to say, it's not my, I don't give permission. Does this fit into Antifa's plan? So you'll never be able to see any more Antifa actions in and on Twitter, because that will be against Twitter policies. No more showing people in videos without their consent. So in that point in time, if there's an anonymous person in the video, I imagine this anonymous person can say, that's me. And I don't want that video on there. So is this part of trust in the plan? Is this part of the great celebration of tracking Jack Dorsey stepping down to have a new tyrant put in that puts on harder regulations? You see how wacky the Q community is? They can't see into the future for 2 seconds. They sit there and say, celebration, Jack Dorsey's gone. And they celebrate a brand new, harder, more difficult tyrant. It's absolutely insanity. Absolutely insanity. And like I say, within 24 hours, you can't post video posts of videos of people without their consent. We all wear masks. Antifa wears masks, sunglasses, and all the exact same outfit. How can Twitter sit there and say that's not them? Or it doesn't matter if they do it legally or not. You see, there is the loophole now. Twitter is an anonymous cesspool. Therefore, they can sit there and do whatever they want under these brand new rules. Doesn't matter if it was a legitimate complaint. Under the law, which his last name starts with, his very last name, when you mirror it, says law. And the very next consonant in the dictionary says argument, is the abbreviation for argument. So lawful argument. He put in a new law. Now here's what's the funniest part about this, is that the government gets to videotape everybody, right? Everything's videotaped, but we're not allowed to videotape crimes. I mean, this is a huge assault on protecting you. If you're being assaulted and you jump out and use your camera real quick to record it, and you don't know who the assailant was, you're no longer allowed to use that evidence on Twitter, would you be? You can't just put somebody's face up there and say, hey, who is this? Because they assaulted me. Under the brand new rules of Twitter, that video could be banned and put down and never be placed again. And also that would be breaking Twitter rules, so you could be banned off of Twitter because of it. So anytime they want to have a court case or a crime to go a certain way, like let's just use the Rittenhouse incident. Where did all those videos come from? Facebook or Twitter? Those are Twitter posts. Those are Twitter videos that were posted on Twitter, live. People were live streaming on Twitter. That's where you live stream, is on Twitter. So any kind of an action like that would have been forbidden in the future. All riots in the future will be forbidden to be put on Twitter. Any kind of live documentation of any kind of crimes that does not fit into the category of the agenda will be banned off of Twitter. And then you will be banned off of Twitter. So trust the plan. Keep following these QAnon knuckleheads that keep wanting to sit there and say, yay, Jack Dorsey stepped down. It made things worse under the guise of a new name. And see, here's what's beautiful. Everything Jack's done and everything Jack's been accused of and everything that Jack's been a part of, because he's just a face. We can no longer charge him because he's not in charge of Twitter, right? I mean, it's just so funny that this new face is the one that gets credit. But Twitter did not change its rules because of a new boss within 24 hours. It's all pre-planned. There's your plan. There's trust your plan. There's trust your plan. Anyways, the QAnon would be like if I was going to say World War II was happening, the QAnon people would be the Jewish people that would be standing in those places that are shuffling people into the trains. You know how they would show civilians lifting up the Jewish people onto the trains while the guards were standing there? The guards weren't doing the actual work. They were there for the threat and to, the threat. But there was a certain group of Jewish people that was calming everybody else down and said, it's okay. It's okay. Trust everything. Here, let me help you get onto this train. This train will lead you to a great place where you'll be safe. That's who the QAnon people are. They're leading you to hell. They're leading you away from the Jesus Christ's gospel. They're leading directly into the man-made deceptions of politics. Take it for what it's worth. Does the government ever do anything other than genocide? Do governments do anything other than ever lie to their people? And you say, trust the government, trust the next president, trust the billionaires that are involved in all kinds of secret societies that you've never even heard of. We do researches on stuff that we are supposed to know about. There's no way we know about stuff that they do. It's impossible. But QAnons will sit there and say, trust the plan, wait and vote for Republicans. They won't tell you that this is a great deception by the devil and that the Bible explains it perfectly. They'll say it's biblical, but the problem is Satan is in the Bible too. Here's the problem. It's a spiritual war, not a political war. People, be careful of QAnon people. They are great deceivers and being lost and fed straight to the pits of hell.